Well, it has always been a dream of mine to become an artist, and a long journey really to get there. So I am just thrilled to be able to be myself, really. I've always felt intuitively that to make art is my strong point, and I always wanted to do it. So I have been very lucky. I feel very lucky to be able to follow the path, and especially since I collaborated with Coldplay, my work has been seen by over 400 million people, and I started getting really wonderful feedback. People would be coming from all parts of the world saying that the artwork means something to them. So in a way, my artwork has become like an embrace to people, and that sometimes feels like a superpower if you can give that sort of gift, if you can embrace people who you never met without words, just through art. Well, I've been very lucky that I was growing up in a house where my parents had a lot of original artworks, and I have to say it was more looking at the art itself. I have always been absolutely fascinated. I remember a moment of standing as a little girl on my parents' couch and scrutinizing this artwork, a landscape that had a river on it, and I just could not comprehend how the artist could draw river, reflected water. I was just fascinated. So it was really, rather than a concrete artist, it was the magic of making art itself that really, really drew me to it. Well, that's a very vast question and very interesting one. I would actually like to know all the answers to that, but from my experience, just from actually very recent experience, when I had opening of my retrospective show at the Museum of Eastern Bohemia in Hradec Králové, I experienced a really fascinating, beautiful thing, and that was that the whole town, from the youngest to oldest, took part at the kind of opening of my exhibition. We screened my film, Wings for Coldplay, about my collaboration with the band, and then a procession of about 500 people went across town to the museum, and young children and young artists prepared different performances that were inspired by my work. And it was just a really, really moving, wonderful thing. And what I realized there was that maybe compared to British culture, I think that Czech children, for example, they have opportunity to attend art classes in these institutions like folk art schools, Lidová škola umění. And I feel that the whole cultural scene is open to them from a kind of young age, if you like. I think different artists decide different way of going about this, and for me it seemed to me the best way to combine everything. At the end, I suppose everything looks like a chaos, but even universe was created from chaos, maybe. And what I feel is that if I bring my studio home, then I can be very, very effective with looking after my family as well. There are very, very strict boundaries. My children, ideally don't step on my artwork. I keep it separate, but I can work very, very hard, and because I just love what I'm doing, that really helps me to kind of put quite a big load on myself, because it doesn't really feel like hard work. That's a difficult question, because I think that each time I create a new piece of art, unless I hate it, I kind of embrace it. It's a part of me, and I almost think of it as my child. And so I'm always kind of currently in love with the piece that I'm making. Although, my very recent project is a piece of work that commemorates Queen Charlotte's lying in hospital, maternity hospital, on Marylebone Road here in London. And I am particularly attached to it because it's the first time that I could put my work in architectural scale in one of the main streets of London, and also because it celebrates mothers. You know, it's a hopefully serious artwork that kind of thanks mothers for such an important thing that they do for giving birth. Well, I think it would probably be the same advice as if, let's say, as if water asked me how to break concrete. I would say, yes, it's possible, but you have to stay focused. You have to stay yourself. If there is an obstacle in your way, you need to find another path. But what is probably the key thing that I would say is that you really need to identify whether the path that you want to follow is the thing that you really love. You need to feel utter love, almost obsession, in order to follow it, because there will always be very, very hard work, I think, to become an artist or any professional. But that work doesn't feel so hard if you love what you're doing.